Hello again, everybody. Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Raw review this evening, Monday, January the 13th, 2014. Well, the crowd in Providence kind of sucked it, especially for this Raw. It was a decent one tonight. It was a night of betrayals. We, of course, would see a betrayal from these guys, as you would see in the title of this video, my subtitle. You would see, of course, New Age Outlaws turning on somebody, as well as another turn, another betrayal, which I was hoping for. I think I kind of predicted it last week. And I didn't think it was going to be this damn soon. Plus, new names added for the Rumble is the first name inducted for this year's Class of 2014 WWE Hall of Fame. Now, like I said, New Age Outlaws turn, and also we have a little bit of a turn involving a man known as Daniel Bryan, who would begin tonight as Daniel Wyatts, trying to prove himself after what happened last week in a six-man tag teaming up with Harper and Rowan against the Usos and Rey Mysterio, which ended up with a miscommunication with Harper and Bryan, which would lead the Usos and Mysterio to the ring, which would set up the match for tonight, which would begin War tonight, which I was very surprised that would begin War tonight. But I should have known some screw was going to happen during this matchup to open up War. The Usos teamed up against Daniel Wyatt, of course, Daniel Bryan, and Bray Wyatt. Now, of course, D-Bryan trying to prove himself. It looked like these two were going to get along. These two kind of got along for the majority of this matchup, quick tagging in and out, and it kind of became an odd little team. I was against D-Bryan being a part of this Wyatt family. And after what happened at the end of the evening, it's kind of weird that this didn't last a little longer than it did. It was only a 2-week stand, but it could have went a little longer. Then hype up the turn, but still, we would have, of course, D-Bryan and Bray dominating over the matchup. D-Bryan looked very good despite, him being the Wyatt family member at the time. Doing his typical ways, and the crowd still not getting over the fact that he wasn't at the time the good old D-Bryan that we know and love. Of course, as we all know, by the end of the evening, that would all change. But indeed, as D-Bryan and Bryan was trying to get in the winning ways and have Bryan prove himself as a member of this family, the Usos would come flying back, and I mean literally flying back with a big high-flying, high-octane offense. Indeed, it took down the Wyatts, well, at least D-Bryan and Bray. And even there's a big double team moves and big nasty kicks in the D tag team match will open up the matchup. And they were ready to do the big splash. Actually set up a stereo splash. They had a stereo fly move. And they're ready to set up a double fly splash, double frog splash with one Uso at each corner with both D-Bryan or D-Wyatt and Bray Wyatt down. Before the Usos could nail the double frog splash, here comes Rowan and Harper to prevent that from happening, causing the disqualification for this matchup, beating up the Usos following the matchup. But then, of course, following the Usos escaping further punishment from the Wyatts, D-Bryan was upset about the loss and wanted to sacrifice himself. So he indeed sacrificed himself by letting Bray give him a Sister Abigail. A little bit later on, and I should have thought there would be a rematch after this ending, but I think the rematch was going to come as quickly as later on in the evening, as the Usos and Bray and Daniel would team up yet again in a rematch in a steel cage tonight. Yeah, I saw a steel cage above the ring. I thought we would use it for a dark match main event because I've been to Walls and they have bonus matches for after they go off the air. But they use the steel cage for this broadcast, and the door will be locked by Kane, of course, Director of Operations. No authority tonight. Basically, it was Kane and the general manager of Raw, Brad Maddox, wanting the show tonight. So with those two taking control of that situation, we were indeed kind of rehashing a feud. As we on to our next match. Good news and bad news scenario. The good news is, Damien Sandow finally got a rematch tonight against John Cena, following Cena thwarting him of successfully cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase on Cena when he was WWE Champion. That's the bad news. Cena's no longer champion. I wanted Sandow to get a rematch at Cena when Cena was champion. I thought Sandow, after getting thwarted by Cena after the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, I thought that Sandow were going to rematch the Survivor Series. Never happened. So at least I'm glad, like I said, that Sandow finally got a rematch against Cena. it was too little too late, as Cena's no longer champion. But it's going to be a big stepping stone for Sandow finally getting a title match in the immediate future. As once again, Sandow looked very good tonight against John Cena. Like the match, like the first match, Sandow looked very good against Cena. And Cena, I know a lot of people, including myself, bitch about Cena's lack of ability. And whenever Cena tries to do something new, we always make fun of him as well. It's like, doesn't matter, Cena, you still suck. You know what I mean? He did like I'll give Cena credit, he did like a nasty tornado DDT off the top rope. And, but of course, Super Cena would indeed come flying back after Sandow delivering some big moves, including trying to go for the You're Welcome move a few times. But like I said, I've always applauded Sandow and his wrestling ability, trying to go for the elbow to stand as well. And Sandow was very good tonight once again, showing once again why he should be considered to be a future champion. If you saw the beginning of my list today, I've started my list of top 5 current superstars that should win a Royal Rumble at least once in their career. At least, I guess my top 5 current superstars that should win the Rumble at least once in their career. I think my number 5 was Dolph Ziggler. Spoiler alert, my number 4 is Damien Sandow. Yeah, that's my number 4 pick. Spoiler alert. So when I'm making a video tomorrow about that. My number 4 pick for top 5 current superstars that should win a Rumble once in their career. My number 4 is Damien Sandow. That's my number 4 pick. So there you go with that. No spoiler. And this proves why he should win a Rumble at least once in his career. Hopefully it's this year. But still, despite Sandow delivering some great moves, especially, I love the ending, kind of, when Sandow, he was in the STFU at one point. Then he put Cena in the STFU. But then, of course, being Super Cena, trying to get momentum for his match against Orton in the Rumble, Cena countered out of the Sandow attempt at the STFU, and I kind of knew the ending right away. You know Cena's predictable. I knew exactly what he was going to do. He was going to counter out the STFU, put Sandow on his back, you know, showing his big strength, put him in the FU, 1-2-3 victory. That was the ending. John Cena beating Damien Sandow with momentum on his side, going towards his match against Orton at the Rumble. Of course, Cena's dad was at ringside tonight. It was in Providence, Rhode Island, kind of close to Boston. Of course, New England Patriots were in the crowd. They take on Denver Broncos for the AFC Championship. If you didn't see my Attack Sports today, I will be in Denver next week. I'm not gonna be there for the championship game. I'm just gonna be happening to be in town that weekend because my dad's got a little seminar thing he's gonna attend. I'm just gonna happen to be in Denver next week for the championship weekend. So I will probably miss Raw next week, especially when Batista returns. But anyway, of course, we would see Cena's dad get a little bit involved when Randy Orton would wrestle later on in the evening. Hey, Cena's got to wrestle, so does Orton. So we would see Orton later on in the evening. But indeed, John Cena winning, and I hope Sandow once again look good tonight. Hopefully Sandow can get another big push. Like I said, hopefully Royal Rumble win. That's what I'm hoping for. Now, on with our next scenario. Next matchup. Or should I say, our next squash. Big Show, of course, trying to send another big message to Brock Lesnar heading towards their match at the Royal Rumble. Take on Jack Swagger. Man, I've always applauded, if you see my reviews lately, I've always been applauding we Americans and their tag team work. It's sad to see Jack Swagger get squashed in less than 30 seconds against Big Show. You know, it was like no offense at all by Swagger, just got his ass beat in like a squash match. I did, once again, for the second week in a while, I like Zeb Coates' sign again. You know, I like the sign last week, and now I had a sign that says, "You're a big part of the problem." On the other side said that sneakers should be used for feet. Now you use a sneaker across the border. That was a nice, funny sign as well, but it didn't mean anything. Big Show beat the crap out of Swagger. He also tried to beat up on Cesaro, but Cesaro ran out before he got anything from Big Show, which left Zeb Coulter all alone. Big Show had a choice: choke slam or knockout. He chose knockout. So Zeb Coulter got knocked out by Big Show after destroying Jack Swagger in the squash. And like I said, I've always applauded the American, the teamwork. Sad to see Swagger get squashed. Now on to the first of our 2 betrayals of the evening. First off, in our 6-man tag, CM Punk teaming up with, of course, DX's former members, the Badass Billy Gunn, $1 Jesse James, and New Age Outlaws, one of my all-time favorite tag teams. I was raised on the Attitude Era, which makes me very excited about the WWE Network, which is boarding up the ass. Hey, at least it isn't before the WWE app tonight. Well, you gotta use the app for it, as well as computer and all the other things you can use with the WWE Network, like Xbox and all that. If you didn't see my thoughts on the network when the press conference happened, watch that video on this channel. Anywho, we saw Punk continue on his feud against The Shield with the rematch against The Shield with the New Age Outlaws teaming up with them. A rematch from SmackDown. Now, I've been seeing, when it comes to Roman Reigns, man, they're trying to, I've been noticing this since Survivor Series, since they let Roman Reigns be the lone survivor. Now, I'm not just saying that just because it was the #1 movie this week, Lone Survivor, the Mark Wahlberg movie, but anyway, like I said, Roman Reigns was a lone survivor in a Survivor Series match, and I kind of knew from there they're trying to give Roman Reigns a big push. Well, I think that's exactly what they're doing, and Roman Reigns is like the next big thing. Now, I thought Ambrose was going to be the breakout star of the Shield. Now it's mainly going to be Roman Reigns, especially after he beat Punk last week. And this week, Roman Reigns tried to do it again. He looked very good tonight once again. Really, and he got cheered a little bit from this lazy-ass crowd in Providence. The only time the crowd kind of got cheering. They even cheered for Outlaws a few times. But anyway, of course, Punk and the Outlaws came out swinging from the get-go. I love seeing the Outlaws back. I think Outlaws came back last year. They had a couple matches last year. I love seeing them again after the Slammies in 2012. They came back. And, of course, Raw 1000, that kind of started. The Outlaws came back, wrestled a few matches last year, house shows. And I was glad to see them back on Old School Raw last week. And I'm glad they got the wrestling tonight. And it looked very good when they were in, when Badass Billy Gunn and Jesse James were in the match. They were awesome once again, delivering that they still got it. And they could go for one more one for the Tag Team Championships, which could come true, especially after what happened, in the aftermath of what happened at the end of this matchup. So, after the Outlaws took care of the Shield a little bit, warming up for CM Punk to come in to try to annihilate, but indeed after Roman Reigns got tagged in, the momentum shifted. Once again, the Shield took over, basically falling on the shoulders of the big man, Roman Reigns, looking very well. It could be a breakout star. Maybe he could win the Royal Rumble. But indeed, as of course, Punk was getting pummeled by Roman Reigns and the other two members of the Shield, of course, Ambrose and Rollins, Punk was trying valiantly to try to get the momentum to try to get back to his side of the ring and tag in one of his two partners. But after the Punk knee lift, the big knee and all that, and after getting punished throughout the later half of this matchup, I even like when Roman Reigns did the suck it to Badass Billy Gunn and Jesse James as Roman Reigns was dominating on Punk as Punk was trying to get back to his corner. Punk finally got back to his corner after being dominated on by the Shield for a lot of minutes, and the New Age Outlaws walked out on him. And then, basically, New Age Outlaws left Punk all alone. Punk did try to fight back by trying to outnumber the numbers, tossing out Ambrose, tossing out Rollins, but walking into a big spear, and for the second week in a row, in a singles match and a tag match, continuing his reign of being a big star, sorry, pun the pun, Roman Reigns beats Punk again for the second week in a row, pinning him in a singles match and, of course, in a tag match, triple powerbomb following the matchup. Now, it makes a lot of sense to have New Age Outlaws turn on Punk, especially since Punk's feuding with Triple H lately. Reigniting his feud with Triple H and the Authority. We've been seeing that for the last couple weeks. Makes a lot of sense for New Age Outlaws to kind of turn on Punk and side with Triple H. Hello, Triple H, Authority, DX. Makes a whole lot of sense for New Age Outlaws to turn on Triple H. We turn on Punk and align themselves with Triple H, be part of his cronies and the Authority. Of course, a continuing feud between Punk and Triple H. And now New Age Outlaws, like I said, they could go for one more one as champions. They will take on Cody Rhodes and Goldust this Friday in a title match. I would love to see New Age Outlaws as champ again. Crowd kind of likes them again. Once again, like I said, lazy crowd tonight in Providence, but still, I would love to see New Age Outlaws get one more shot at being tag champs. They kind of had a couple of matches last year, kind of proved they should have been considered for another one as champions, but I think now this could be the chance to get another shot being champions. I would love to see New Age Outlaws as champions again. really knocked the WWE, kicked the WWE Tag Division up the ass. They're also good teams, but New Age Outlaws, their experience and the knowledge and their mentorship could do well for the boys in the back. When it comes backstage, it'd be great. But on screen, it'd be great to see them as tag teams again. It'd be great. So there you go. New Age Outlaws turn on Punk, feed him to the Wolves, with the Shield getting the win in the 6-man, or should I say 3-on-1 handicap match. Now on to our bathroom week. AJ and Tamina teaming up against the Funkadactyls. Like I said, once again making fun of this crowd, but I did hear "We Want Wrestling" chants during this match. I applaud the crowd for that. The only good thing the crowd did, besides what happened after the main event tonight. Anywho, typical Divas match. AJ and Tamina beating up on the Funkadactyls. And AJ's got the longest reign, well, second longest reign as Divas champion since Maryse. Who cares anymore? Because Divas division sucks now, despite AJ's effort to try to reclaim the Divas division, trying to be the Punk of the division. But then basically, AJ, of course, and Tamina won. Funkadactyls beat up on Tamina and AJ following the matchup. Maybe one of the Funkadactyls could get a title match. Maybe Naomi against AJ at the Rumble. That match could be named next week, especially since Caitlyn left. Anyway, on with, of course, things involving, of course, the Royal Rumble. A lot of new names for the Royal Rumble. We had Miz confirmed on Twitter. R-Truth's been added. Biggie Lynch has been added. Xavier Woods has been added. Kofi's been added. We will see Kofi Kingston wrestle next. Cody Rhodes and Goldust has been added. And also CM Punk has been added to the Rumble match as well. And before we would see Kofi Kingston wrestle, we get the first name announced for the as of 2014 WWE Hall of Famer. A lot of rumors about who was going to be named first. After his return last week, many people, including myself, was thinking that maybe Jake the Snake Roberts could go in the Hall of Fame, especially if he came back last week during Old School War. But I heard rumors for the last couple weeks about another name considered for the WWE Hall of Fame. A man that's had his share of problems with the WWE, but hints of renewal, hints of rekindling the relationship between him and WWE started when he was featured in WWE 14, and now the rekindling of the relationship has been made official. To be inducted into the class of 2014 WWE Hall of Fame is the Ultimate Warrior! I cannot believe it. Been hearing rumors about Warrior signing a deal with WWE, and I never thought I'd see the day that WWE and Ultimate Warrior would reconnect. We'll kind of like make peace with each other. After years of arguments, it is now official. The Ultimate Warrior is the first name for the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2014. He will be at the ceremony. It'd be kind of weird to see that. You hear mumble. His promo, of course, former WWE champion, two-time Intercontinental champion, especially his win over with the old Honky Tonk Man in like 20 seconds in SummerSlam 88. Now, Warrior made people say, oh, why is the Macho Man once again ignored in Jake Roberts? But Ultimate Warrior was kind of a powerful superstar. It was a colorful star. He was, of course, the second biggest babyface next to Hulk Hogan. Of course, the Ultimate Challenge in 1990, WrestleMania 6. When Roy became WWE champion, beating Hulk Hogan in a decent matchup at WrestleMania 6. It was at Skydome. Two babyfaces going head-to-head in the main event. It was very unique at the time. So Warrior kind of deserves it, for being such a colorful personality. You couldn't understand any of his promos, but still, congrats to the Ultimate Warrior being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame for the class of 2014. Now, on with the next matchup. Now, we saw Cena fight Sandow, going to be doing their little feud. And then we see Orton wrestle, kind of igniting his feud against Kofi Kingston. Now, I remember when Kofi Kingston got a little push a few years back in feud with Orton, but nothing came of it. Kofi was back where he is now, and still is, a mid-carder. But it could not be the case after what happened during this matchup. Orton, frustrated after not being protected, as he would say, ever since he was named to be taking on Cena again in the rematch at the Royal Rumble, in knowing that Batista's coming back and Lesnar wants him. Of course, Batista's in the Rumble as well. Del Rio as well. Those two names were named last week. Orton's been on a tirade, kind of complaining about this and that, about the authority not protecting their biggest property, not having the authority on the side much. So Orton was coming in like a ticking time bomb against Kofi Kingston. And Kofi, of course, trying to get a push that can probably will lead to nothing. Because I love Kofi, but it's like every time they think Kofi's gonna get a big push, Kofi's like the Detroit Lions of the WWE. False expectations. You know what I mean? You think Kofi's gonna do something big, but whether it's him or the creative, he fucks it up and nothing happens. He's stuck in the same position he's always been, a mid-carder. But after the ending, who knows if it could finally lead to something for once. But it looked like another typical Orton squash, as Orton, of course, already angry as he is, basically pummels on Kofi Kingston like he has many times before against Kofi, including in their feud a couple of years back in 2009. But of course, Kofi trying to come back with his high-flying offense, trying to come back with the boom job and all that stuff. But the Orton being the champion, I thought Orton was going to win this one because, of course, Cena won his match. So it made a whole lot of sense for Orton to win his match. Get himself momentum for the title match at the Royal Rumble after complaining so much. But that would not be the case, as Orton was ready to deliver the final blow on Kofi, beating him outside the ring and setting him up for the Hangman's DDT. Kofi would counter it into his SOS move and roll up 1, 2, 3 victory. Kofi Kingston pinned the WWE champion. I was shocked that Kofi finally won something. Finally won something big. And like I said, it could lead to a big push that could lead to nothing. You know, this could be a sign that you say, oh, Kofi could finally win the Rumble this year. You know, he beat the WWE champion. He'll probably get a shot and probably lose. If he's stuck in mid-card, you know, they don't want to push him any higher. Ask Daniel Bryan. Anywho, I want anybody to see it, but who knows? Anywho, after this shocking loss to Kofi, Orton, like I said, with a ticking time bomb, it just exploded. He went on a anger tantrum, slamming the steps, wounding the announce table. But then he looked in the crowd, like I said, we saw Cena's dad in the crowd, and Cena's dad would kind of get involved in Orton's match. Well, after the match, per se, as Orton, who has beaten up on Cena's dad before, when Cena and Orton has feuded many times before, Orton did what he has done, like I said, once before. Beat up on Cena's dad. He saw Cena's dad in the crowd, beat up on Cena, jumped the barricade, beat up on Cena's dad until Cena made the rescue, and Orton ran from the scene of the crime. And Cena would take his dad, who's also John Cena Sr., taking him to the hospital. They said he had like some dislocated retina. You could see him holding his eye as Cena's dad was going in the ambulance after the attack from Orton. So there you go. On our next matchup, we have the tag team champions, the Brotherhood, of course, Cody Rhodes and Goldust, taking on Ryback Soul, of course, Ryback and Curtis Axel. Of course, Big Ryback, I don't think he's in the Rumble yet. He's not confirmed for the Rumble yet. He could be in the Rumble. So would Axel. And I think Brock Lesnar and Big Show will be in it, because I've seen people that have matches in the Rumble be in the match in the Rumble. You know, have singles matches, but also be in the Rumble match itself. So anyway, Ryback was trying to, you know, with the big power. Ryback was a decent tag team, even though one of the members of the team was Goldberg. I mean, Ryback. It's kind of funny. They mentioned the WWE Network. You can watch Goldust. You can watch the real Goldberg on the WWE Network, especially you got all the WCW stuff in ECW as well. Anywho, Ryback was trying to take advantage and try to take advantage of this huge opportunity to try to knock off the tag team champs. But Cody wasn't done just proving their tag team credentials, of course, being brothers and all, really dominated. But Goldust looking good. Once again, I love Goldust. I'm glad Goldust came back, man. He looks awesome. Once again, he wrestled pretty well tonight against Ryback. So, Cody did well, too, delivering a big disaster kick on Ryback. Trying to go for the crossroads. He did nail crossroads on Curtis Axel to end this matchup. The decent tag match between Ryback. So, Ryback, I don't know if they're ever going to get a tag team title shot. They're a decent tag team. There's so many decent tag teams these days. You got Ryback, so you got possibilities of Mark Henry and Big E Langston as a tag team. Big Show and Rey Mysterio are on their separate ways right now. They were big contenders, especially at that tag match at TLC. But now Big Show and Mysterio are pursuing individual goals. Big Show, of course, against Lesnar and Rey Mysterio. Focusing on Alberto Del Rio, which would be our next matchup. And Rey Mysterio will be in our one more as well. So there you go. Brotherhood gets a decent tag team win over my backbone. Now, like I said, speaking of Mysterio, he would take on Alberto Del Rio. Have you noticed that when Rey Mysterio came out, the camera went fuzzy. It went to like black and white thing. I thought they were like going to interrupt Rey Mysterio's promo with a comeback promo for Jericho. I mean, Jericho may come back, but he's denying it once again. Anywho, there was a technical flaw during Mysterio's entrance and bugged Mysterio as he would take on Alberto Del Rio. Of course, these two have feuded many times before. And of course, after Del Rio finally knocked off Sin Cara after their little feud for the last couple weeks, of course, Del Rio went back to another Lucha Libre style wrestler, of course, being Rey Mysterio. And of course, that style dominated the match. A decent matchup for these two guys. These two have decent chemistry together. They wrestle many times, and they have decent chemistry. Rey Mysterio delivering all his big high-flying, big cross moves. But of course, Del Rio went for the one thing, the one target he always focuses on, to get the one move in, of course, focusing on the arm. He weakened the arm of Mysterio many times. So, of course, put on the cross arm breaker. And sent a big message to Batista. He's kind of jealous about the publicity Batista's getting. I think Del Rio and Batista are going to feud together. It could really heat up next week when Batista does return. And also when Batista's in the Rumble. So, who knows? Maybe a match in Elimination Chamber between Batista and Del Rio. I think Batista's going to eliminate Del Rio at the Rumble. Or Del Rio's going to eliminate Batista. Like, these two are going to eliminate each other. Well, I think, like, Batista's going to be knocked out by Del Rio. Batista could eliminate Del Rio. Then Del Rio could pull Batista from outside the ring. That's what I think could happen with Batista and Del Rio. I think they could begin a feud. Especially the way Del Rio's been talking for the last couple weeks. So, anyway. Of course, Mysterio went for his big moves. Numerous attempts in 619. He did get the attempt at 619. He was ready to drop the dime of Del Rio, but Del Rio would board it, knocking Mysterio off the ropes, nailing him with a nasty, insecurity kick to the head, setting up the cross-arm breaker, and the submission victory. But Del Rio, once again sending a verbal message to Batista as well. Ready to beat up on Batista next week when Batista does return on Raw. I say there could be a feud between these two, like I said. It could heat up at the Rumble. Could lead to a match in the Elimination Chamber, who knows? Or maybe at the Royal Rumble they could have a match together, who knows? But I think these two could have started a feud. It would be a very intriguing feud. Kind of a decent feud to start Batista off. I don't think Batista should be pushed immediately to the title picture, unless he wins the Rumble. I don't think so. But still, if he doesn't win the Rumble, he could start from the beginning, start from the bottom, and feud with Del Rio. Could be a good starting point for Batista on his roll back to the top. In the top of the food chain in the WWE after being gone for so long. Now on the main event, in our second turn of the evening, we indeed have Daniel Bryan and Wyatt teaming up with Bray Wyatt against the Usos in a steel cage match. It's kind of cool to have a tag team match main event, which is main event before. I know we've seen many tag team main events on Raw, but it's kind of cool to have a tag team main event involving the Usos. Usos main eventing Raw, that's kind of cool, because I've always liked the Usos. And when D-Bry was alive in the Wyatts, the way he turned on the fans, and like he said, being a fan favorite got him nothing. Usos are fan favorites, and they haven't gotten nothing yet. They've gotten tag team title shots, but not the titles. But I think they should be tag team champions because of all of their personalities. The fans love them, so it's kind of cool to see Usos get a main event. Of course, steel cage match with Kane locking the doors. The only way to win was pinfall, submission, or climb over the top to escape. It was tornado style. You didn't have to tag, so it was all four guys going at each other at the same exact time. So these are steel cage match, being TVPG, and of course, no blood, of course, being TVPG, WWE. Once again, cannot wait to see TV 14 cage matches again on demand on the WWE Network. Anyway, of course, Usos trying to come back with a high-flying style. They even tried to escape the ring once, but of course, thwarted by Bray and Daniel, and of course, Harper and Warren. That's kind of weird that Kane was the one that locked Harper and Warren out of the cage, but he knows better. that he knows that no matter what you put to block Harper and Warren from interfering, they will interfere. Remember the Inferno match at SummerSlam, Kane? Harper and Warren still got involved by trying to put out the fire, and they still got involved beating up on Kane, which led to Kane joining the Authority. So Kane should know better about trying to put an obstacle against Harper and Warren. They will get involved no matter what. Like I said, remember the Inferno match at SummerSlam. That sucked, by the way. Anywho, as Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan, like I said, trying to redeem themselves following the disqualification from the first match against the Usos earlier in the evening. Of course, D-Bryan looked very well, and of course, Usos going to their high-flying way. And indeed, D-Bryan Bray was trying to patch things up and trying to win as a tag team for once, but miscommunication would lead on to the ending of this matchup. But as indeed, as Mr. Wyatt, Bray Wyatt was setting up for the big finish, setting up on Sister Abigail on Jay, after Rocky Jay's super kick, Jimmy would come in, thwarting that attempt. D-Bryan tried to come in to try to beat up on one of the Usos from trying to beat up on Bray, but both D-Bryan and Bray were taken out from the Usos with big nasty kicks, and they were also going to go for the big splash, but they never did. So Bray Wyatt and Bryan outside the ring, not outside the ring, but out in the ring, after being taken out by Usos. Both Usos was climbing on the top, and after D-Bryan and Wyatt tried to block Usos from escaping through the cage, Usos climbed out of the cage and won the matchup. Now let's lead on to our ending. After the matchup with Usos celebrating, D-Bryan looked like he was going to sacrifice himself again, following his loss again, because he sacrificed himself for Sister Abigail. And here's what led up to the predict. I said it last week on my attack line, my Raw review last week. I said D-Bryan, I don't know when, I don't care when, D-Bryan will turn on the Wyatts. He will go back to being his yes self. I knew that in some way, someday, D-Bryan was going to turn on the Wyatts and be back as a face again. I did not think it was going to be 2 weeks after he initially joined the Wyatts that D-Bryan would turn on the Wyatts. It would start when D-Bryan was going to be sacrificed again and put into Sister Abigail. As Bray Wyatt was setting up Sister Abigail, D-Bryan got out of it. He didn't sacrifice himself again. And then all of a sudden, the fans were just on their feet, probably the loudest the entire lazy fans got the entire evening. As it looked like D-Bryan was going to finally turn on the Wyatts, which he did. He was in the corner, and I knew he was going to stay in the corner and go for a big knee, which he did after Bray Wyatt said, "Come on, big man! Come on and hit me, man! You're a coward!" And then bang! The old D-Bryan came flying, and I do mean literally flying back, following Bray Wyatt's attempt to charge him. Daniel Bryan came back to his old self with a big kick. And of course, the old D-Bryan was back, taking off his blue bodysuit, revealing his old trunks again and his old knee pads, and of course, revealing back his old attitude with the big kicks, taking down Bray Wyatt, and Harper and Warren could do nothing since Kane locked the door. Harper and Warren could not get in the ring unless they had to climb to the top of the cage, which D-Bryan thwarted every time because I think one of them was on the side of the cage trying to climb up, and D-Bryan kicked him off both times. Both Harper and Warren were trying to climb to the top, and D-Bryan knocked him down both times. And then after beating up on Bray Wyatt and finally shedding the Wyatt colors, D-Bryan stood on top of the cage, and the loudest the crowd got the entire evening when they all shouted in unison, "Yes! Yes! Yes!" So happy D-Bryan's back, and I hope they push him again, man. You know, the fans love him, man. I was so pissed they demoted him by making him join the Wyatts and kind of trying to ruin his momentum. And even if he finally turned the Wyatts after 2 weeks, who knows what this could have done to his momentum as we head towards the Rumble. D-Bryan finally shedding the Wyatt colors, it could lead to him. It could lead to him finally fulfilling my prediction that D-Bryan could win the Royal Rumble. That's my prediction right now. Especially now that D-Bryan finally under the Wyatts. I think it could have gone on a little bit longer. He could have turned on them at the Rumble. But it didn't care. It didn't matter to me when or where. I knew that D-Boy was going to turn on the Wyatts no matter what, and he did tonight. That is it for my wall review for this evening. I will see you all later. Like I said, I will probably won't be making a wall review next week because I will be on vacation in Denver. I will just happen to be in Denver for the championship weekend. I'm not going to the game itself. I'm just going to happen to be there during that weekend. This vacation was already planned. My dad was going to go. I joined at the last minute, especially after, Denver hosting the championship. Well, with that in mind, you've all been attacked. Find the review from Zach. Thank you all so much for watching. Yes! Yes! Yes!